Hello everyone. Today's topic is how we are supposed to have that self talk, means how we are supposed to have a conversation with our own self. And if I say something like that, you may say, well, there might be a lot of thoughts that might come to our head, and when we talk to ourselves, but we do. For example, if you are doing something and you suddenly forgot an information, there are people who might berate themselves that you're so forgetful. It seems like they are just stamping the situation in a very different way. They may go to a place and they may actually want to do something and they ended up doing something else, and they suddenly tell themselves, what the heck, I was never supposed to do this, you're so this, you're so that. And if they see a competent person and telling oneself, comparing themselves with a competent person, whatever that quality is, and saying that you want to be like them, it is also self talk. It means this person is degrading themselves, comparing themselves to somebody else's competency. We are not supposed to do that. And if you have a food in your plate and if you want to eat a bite more, and saying themselves, if a person does that, saying themselves that, you're too foodie, you eat a lot, you did this, you did that, in a negative manner. Even for them, it might look like they're just confirming the actions that they did from their perspective. But if somebody else did say the same thing to them, it would make them feel a little bit sad or uncomfortable. But if they're telling that to themselves, it might feel like they're just observing their own behavior and they're criticizing themselves, or they're just giving a statement about their behaviors, which is they are, if they seem, it seems like there is an issue regarding the behavior. Even if that is how it is, we are not supposed to do that. First ever thing that I heard from my spirit guardians is, be kind to yourself. Be very, very kind to yourself. People who have never experienced unconditional love wouldn't know how to be gentle with themselves. No matter what happens, even if you scribble something, if you're taking a note in your notebook and you misspell something and saying that, shit, I did this. We're not supposed to do that. It just happened. We did not do this. It happened. There is a difference. If somebody else comes and says the same thing, you just misspell it. It might look like a small thing, but if that's been done in every single way, our subconscious is something that it might absorb those kind of things. So having the self-talk is very important. This is exactly why universe loves us unconditionally. That is the first step towards remembering our essence, our own identity, is to understand we've been loved. We are loved unconditionally by the universe. Universe is the provider, and we are on earth because of the free will. It is absolutely necessary that we use that to our benefit, instead of conforming that somebody is forgetful, or someone saying themselves they're too angry all the time, or they're upset, they're this irritating, or they're not competent enough, or even something very simple as if they think, for example, I'll come to the point, they think that they made a mistake and they call themselves or they say that it was a mistake was done by them, whether it's a smaller or bigger, it doesn't matter. If you meet a person who loves you unconditionally, no matter what you do, it would be never a mistake in their eyes, no matter what you do. This is exactly how universe sees us. Whatever we do, it is not a mistake, especially the smallest of the things that we do. Behavior, it shows up in a smaller way, it shows up in a bigger way as well. This is exactly why first thing what we are supposed to do is to be kind to ourselves, to give ourselves a correction when we do something that looks like a fault, a mistake. Instead of calling it a mistake, instead of saying this is how it is, this is how it was, because even for someone else, another person, it might never look like a mistake, because there are a lot of people who think they did something mistake. For example, they may misplace their water bottle. It looked like a mistake for them. It was a mistake not to keep it in the same place, or not to fill something, or they forgot something, or they spilled something got messier, or something. Every single thing that we come across on a daily basis, you sit down, I suggest you to sit down and remember everything that you perhaps told to yourself. Is how many positive things one person tells that to themselves, and how many negative things that might come out of themselves towards themselves. I'm talking to you guys, whoever you see, because imagine if there is a person, imagine there is a spirit standing next to you. Every single time when we say something positive towards us, if they bless us, how wonderful it would be. It's a nice feeling, isn't it? Imagine if you meet a person who's always kind, who's always gentle, no matter what you do, they never get angry, they never judge, they never get irritated. No matter what it is, they always say it's all right, it's okay, don't be hard on yourself. It feels nice to have those kind of people in our life, isn't it? This is exactly what we are supposed to do towards ourselves. Because even a person who thinks they did something mistake, a fault, it might never be actually a mistake of themselves. Means it is just a perception of them that they did something and it was a mistake. It's so simple as, imagine there are people who wake up in the morning, they perfectly fold their bed sheets, and it has to be kept very as if they just bought it today. No, there should not be wrinkles or something like that. And there are people who do not care about these things. They do keep it, clean it, and they do not prioritize these kind of things. And the first kind of person, and if suddenly for some reason when they got up in the morning, they got a call or something happened that they forgot to fold their bedsheet, and after some time they see, oh my god, just a statement that they did not fold the bedsheet in the morning when they wake up. It means that they are self-criticizing themselves. It means they're acknowledging something that they think that they should have done, which has not been done yet. Imagine if somebody else says that to them, you're supposed to do that in the morning, why you have not done it. It might not look like a big thing, but every single actions that we do, there are thoughts goes on in the head that we are supposed to be in a place where we're supposed to say it's okay, it's all right. No, I think I have given this example in the beginning in another video as well. For example, if there is a child who grew up in a family where for spilling things, for breaking things, that child was never reprimanded, never punished. So if they grow up into an adulthood and where they spill something, where they break something, it's highly possible that they never feel guilty because it was never intentional. It was never intentional. It happened. It was an incident. It was an accident. And there are people who grew up with lot of punishments for breaking things or spilling things or even smallest of the things. People, taught by the adults or elders in the family, this is right, this is not right. The guilt that the same this person might feel for spilling a cup of coffee or breaking something, even if it is something expensive, having that burden in their heart that they did something, that them telling to themselves that they broke it. It is something that we are supposed to not to do that. It is not done by them. It just happened in their life. It is something that without understanding self-blame, self-criticizing, self-judgment, self-condemnation, it is a cruelty towards the self. People might not understand it because a lot of people wouldn't even know that this is something that they're not supposed to do. Especially people who grew up with the people who are very judgmental, very criticizing, controlling, narcissistic, or something very strict. Even being strict is not good all the time. A child needs something, both lessons and love as well. So having that behavior picked up from the parent, because the parent thinks certain behavior is wrong, and the child thinking that this behavior is wrong, and even when the parent is not there or the adult is not there, whoever that negative this influence is, people growing up picking up the same statements towards themselves, using it towards themselves. So this is something that consciously we are supposed to let go and change that self-talk into, yeah, it just happened, and not to feel guilty because it was not intentional. If there is, bedsheet is not folded, made properly in the morning, it's wonderfully fine. If the cup of coffee is spilled on the floor, it just slipped, it just fell, and that's fine. Even if it feels like, oh my god, who's gonna make another cup of coffee? Or imagine if that was your last cup of milk that was left in. No, the feeling might be very different, the frustration might be different, but it's essential to say that it's okay. Because imagine if putting yourself in a place of a child, and if you imagine being a child, because it always stems from childhood memories, childhood experiences. As a child is exactly when people who suddenly become financially independent, they do a lot of stuff because they wanted to do, and they were never allowed to do, or they were not supposed to do, or they feared something, or they had some restrictions, something, whether it's financial or parental or societal or cultural or whatever that it is. It's because that inner child wants to experience that love, affection, warmth, support, kindness, love. I said that already, isn't it? And those kind of things, we are supposed to do that even as an adult. This is exactly why following the heart is essential. So imagine if a child just breaks an expensive bottle of medicine, and a parent saying that it's okay, it's all right, because the parent knows that it's already done, it cannot be changed, and it's a child. Yes, it needed to be carefully handled. It's also responsibility of the parent during that time, that either not to let the child handle the bottle, or to make sure that child understand the consequences of losing the bottle if it is falls on the ground. and not to get angry on the child, but actually give that child a place where it feels safe and secure without feeling the guilt, but understand that okay, this medicine is on the floor now, the bottle is broken, it's whether it's expensive or not, it's different. And the consciously child without parents telling the child, imagine a parent forcing the child to be careful every single time, making the child very nervous, versus child simply understanding that certain things needs to be handled very carefully. So if it is confidence in handling, it would be careful next time handling bottles and such. Or it just refuses, the child may refuse, it slipped out of my hand last time, so I don't want to handle this medicine bottle this time. It's up to the child, and a child can be in that place because of the parent being kind to the child. Then only the child may understand the consequences. See, this is the glass bottle, this is the medicine, it's supposed to be handled very carefully. It is not a forceful coercion, it is a internal understanding the child has to accept and practice. That can come only when the child totally understands the consequences, the situation, and it becomes easier for the child to understand and accept when a parent or a guardian or whoever this communication is happening is very gentle, kind, understanding, and accepting of the situation, instead of blaming the kid that you broke the bottle, turning that situation into something that, yeah, the medicine bottle, it's broken, it's slipped, what happened, are you okay? And then comforting the kid that has happened and acknowledging it without blaming the kid regarding this, and then focusing on the well-being of the kid, and then cleaning up without actually making a fuss. Then whenever the time is right, then having a conversation regarding this calmly is very essential and beneficial for the kid. So if a kid grows up this way, this kid might actually be in a very positive environment. If these kind of things, this is exactly parenting changes people's life because of it. So if somebody grew up without having such kind of parents, and if the parents are like criticizing for throwing this medicine bottle out, how expensive that is, look how these things, now I have to buy it again, now this is all the glass shards on the floor, now you don't step on it, if you step on it then this will happen. There are a lot of things people can say, a lot of things to children's, even they know that it's not a fault of the child, but they're frustrated. So looking at our own self as that child and being that gentle touch in our own life is our responsibility. So having self-talk is something that we can learn to change in a very positive way. Instead of saying that I did this, I did that, breaking this or spilling this, or just a spelling mistake, or correcting yourself, even if you're saying something and something else came out, and instead of confirming it, you're supposed to say, okay, let's just focus on the solution. Let's just let's just have a good memory more. Instead of confirming the lack of memory power, you're supposed to say, it's okay, I'll remember. It's okay, I'll handle this. It's okay, it's been handled in my favor. And be okay with the spelling mistake or a spillage or something we're supposed to do, but we haven't done that on time. There are a lot of things that we're supposed to do, and even if you have a big list of to-do things, it might take time to do all of those things. So having that self-talk is very essential, and the positive self-talk in the smallest of the things, from the biggest of the things. If a person who wins a championship, it might feel like everybody's eyes on them, and it might feel like they won something. That is how we are supposed to feel without actually achieving anything in our life, because that is the point of life. We're supposed to be in a place where content, it's pleasant, and it starts from within. So having that self-talk and being that kind voice towards our own self is our responsibility as humans. Something that I had to learn from my spirit guardians, and remembering that in every single move that we make, even if you sit for 10-15 minutes without the mobile, how many thoughts that might come to your mind, and how many times you affirm that you remember this, you forgot this, you did this, you did that. It's done through you, it's not exactly done by you. Positive affirmation is really good, but if it is negative, it is suggestible that either stop affirming negative towards ourselves and changing that statement in from I did this, the negative statement, and move to that it just happened, and showing ourselves that forgiveness, that kindness, that gentleness is something that we are supposed to do. I hope it helps